What if the first people to live on the moon weren't explorers at all, but miners? That sounds impossible. After all, the moon is supposed to be humanity's greatest adventure, a place of discovery, a giant leap into the future. But here's the strange part. The real reason countries and billion-dollar companies are racing back to the moon may have nothing to do with science. It may be about money, and lots of it. Within the next decade, humans are expected to return to the lunar surface. But this time, they're not planning a quick visit. They're planning to stay. The question is, who gets there first? The United States is pushing forward. China is moving aggressively. India is making major progress. Private giants like SpaceX and Blue Origin are pouring billions into lunar missions. But why? Because hidden beneath the moon's gray surface are resources worth unimaginable amounts of money. Gold, silver, titanium, and then there's something even more valuable. Helium-3, a substance so rare on Earth that most people have never heard of it. Yet the moon has been collecting it for billions of years. And this is where it gets weird. Just a tiny amount of helium-3 could generate enormous amounts of energy. The potential value is staggering. Suddenly, the moon stops looking like a barren rock. It starts looking like the most valuable piece of real estate in human history. But that creates a new problem. If everyone wants what's on the moon, who actually owns it? And that's when things get complicated. The answer might surprise you. Technically, nobody owns the moon. Decades ago, international agreements declared that outer space belongs to everyone. Sounds peaceful, right? But here's the catch. What happens when multiple nations and corporations want the exact same resources? What happens when trillions of dollars are at stake? What happens next changes everything. Because before anyone can argue over ownership, they first have to survive living there. And surviving on the moon is far harder than most people imagine. Forget futuristic glass cities. Forget luxury space colonies. The first lunar base will probably look more like an underground bunker. Experts believe the moon's south pole could become humanity's first permanent settlement. Why there? Because sunlight is more consistent. And hidden nearby are massive deposits of ice. Ice means water. Water means survival. But that's not even the craziest part. Many of the structures might not be built using materials from Earth. Instead, robots could turn lunar soil into bricks and construct habitats directly on the moon. A self-built city on another world. Sounds incredible, until you realize what daily life would actually look like. Most of your meals would come from packaged astronaut food. Maybe a few carrots. Maybe some tomatoes grown in carefully controlled environments. And drinking water? Well, a large portion of it would likely be recycled from human waste. Suddenly, the dream of lunar life feels a lot less glamorous. But the biggest threat isn't hunger. It isn't isolation. It's something far more unexpected. Something hiding in plain sight across the entire lunar surface. Moon dust. Tiny, gray, and potentially one of the most dangerous obstacles to human settlement. At first glance, it looks harmless. But here's the strange part. Moon dust is unlike anything on Earth. It's sharp, sticky, electrically charged, and it gets everywhere. Onto equipment, into machinery, inside living spaces, even onto human skin. Past astronauts reported irritation after exposure. Engineers worry it could damage critical systems and shorten the lifespan of expensive equipment. And this is where the entire moon dream starts to unravel. Because every solution creates a new problem. Need energy? Build solar systems. Moon dust can interfere with them. Need transportation? Moon dust threatens moving parts. Need long-term survival? Moon dust follows you home every single day. The greatest challenge may not be reaching the moon. It may be learning how to live with it. But here's the twist nobody talks about. The moon was never the final destination. It was always the test. A proving ground. A giant rehearsal for something much bigger. Mars. Every hardship we face on the moon teaches us how to survive farther from Earth than ever before. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every success becomes a blueprint. And that's what makes this story so fascinating. The first settlers may never experience the moon the way we imagine. No endless bouncing adventures. No carefree exploration. Just hard work. Mining. Building. Surviving. Yet their sacrifices could open the door to an entirely new chapter of human history. But one question still remains. If living on the moon is this difficult, what impossible challenges are waiting for us on Mars?